Hi, this is Patricia Stuart. Welcome back to my channel. I have some wood printing blocks here. Usually these are used on fabric, for fabric designs. I've used them for those. And they work well with the gel plate. I also have a lot of these and various different types of old buttons that I glued to the top of these wine stoppers that come inside the wine. And I've collected so many of these, and you can glue different shapes and things on top. I also have some homemade foam type cutouts that I just put on pieces of boxes that I've torn up. So if you get a lot of shipments from Amazon or any other place, you can just cut up these square pieces of boxes, use some of them, and this one is hot glue dots on, and you can make different types of things that have impressions on them that you can use right on the gel plate, and they work very well. So I'm going to do some layering, one pull layers. Okay, and so I'll start with some Pyro Orange. Just a little there. I'll put some Yellow Ochre. Another area. I'll put a little teal. A little quinacridone magenta. Whoops, and that is like way too much. My nozzle on this is broke, and so I'm kind of forced to always open the top of it. Okay, and the reason why I'm putting these in small areas at one time is because I'm going to roll them out, and different areas will have different impressions placed on them. And then I'll use a little Indian hue. Over there. Now you may have to have a couple of brayers to roll this out. I have a few different size brayers for rolling stuff out. Okay, so I'll roll that out, and then I will make an impression using this wooden block. Which makes a nice impression. Then I'll roll out Pyro Orange. Right next to it. And then I'll use, this is from my paper towel roll, the insert. So I'll make some circles with that. Put it down and move it a little. Put it down, move it a little. Put it down, move it a little. Okay? And that makes a nice impression. Take my other brayer and roll out this turquoise, or teal rather, And I will use this block, like a paisley print. Okay. Now roll out the Indian yellow hue. And I'll use this block to make it in print. Okay. And I'll roll out quinacridone, magenta, even if you only have one brayer, you can still do the same thing. Okay, and then I will use this block. And the point is to put thin layers of paint, because if you use too much paint, then your impressions won't come out as clearly seen here. And so this is what we have right now on the gel plate. So this has to dry, okay? It's dry, I think, enough to roll it out. I'm going to use some ultramarine violet. This is pretty translucent. What I like about the one pull with the different designs is that I have a variety going on one sheet. This is the 8x10 plate, and I'm using computer paper. One of the other tips too is to, when you're using computer paper, to let it sit on it for a minute or so before you pull it up. This way the paints are able to absorb into the computer paper. It doesn't work like this on the deli or glassine. They don't absorb the paint as much because of the type of papers they are. But the computer paper, after you get through pressing it in, it just let it sit for a bit. Also, the same process works well if you're using just one type of color. If I had spread it all white or all blue and put the different prints on top, then waited till it dried and pulled it with another color, it's the same too. So you can use the different colors in different areas, or you can just settle on one color and still use all of your different types of markings that you want to make. Okay. So this is what we have with the different colors, the shapes. that we did. So we'll try another one. I will start using Viridian Green hue. A little primary magenta. Cadmium yellow. I'm at the bottom of this, so I use a little nickel azo yellow. That's a really kind of light color. Let's see. Now I'll use a little manganese blue. For the center. Okay, so we'll roll out the yellow. And I have some of these homemade. I think I used maybe a little too much yellow. Well, it's making an imprint. Okay. I'll roll out the green, Viridian Green. I'm going to use, this is my old Tupperware cake decorator. I never used it for that. So that gives me some nice swirly marks. I'll roll out the blue. And I think I'll put some of these dots made with my glue gun. Okay. And I'll use this button. Make some imprints. And then roll out the last color, which is pretty translucent. And I'll use one I used before. Let's try these circles. Okay. And now we have to let that dry. So you see the different imprints that are made. So we're finished drying. And so I'm going to pull this print. It's a little white. And as I mentioned before, it's good to let the computer paper stay on for a little while. Now here's one that I did earlier, playing around. And something like this, you know, I would cut in sections when I'm doing my board books or any type of journaling type situation. I can just, if I need a strip of this color, or I need, you know, a different piece, or if I want to cut out a shape or a flower, then I have, you know, a variety of sections to work with, as opposed to just having just one full sheet of the same print. So it depends on what you're going to use your prints for. And you can, you know, just have a variety of colors to work with. I would take this centerpiece here, like this button print, cut it the way it is lengthwise, and I may use that as a border in my board book. So it's just a different way of pulling your print, depending on what you want to use it for. Okay, and so here's this one that you have the different designs. I think one of my favorite ones to pull is the circles used with the paper towel roll, the insert. So you may want to keep this. It's pretty sturdy. But it's good to keep them. You can use them for different things. So here's the first one that we did. And here's the second. Get an idea of what colors work together as well, and you can use them for different things. So that's just a quick creative idea for pulling gel prints. Thanks for hanging out with me today.